So Bobby Brown was on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. And one of the things that came out was that Bobby Brown thinks Britney Spears butchered cover of his song My Prerogative. Quote, I couldn't take it. And you know what, man, I absolutely agree. If I was Bobby Brown, man, I made a groundbreaking song like My Prerogative and Britney Spears remade it, I would be upset by that version too. Now I went back to listen to it. Because at first I was going to say, that song's straight trash. But I went to listen to it. And it's okay. It's not straight trash. It's okay. But it's not as good as Bobby Brown's original. It's so funny because this came from a Variety. Variety wrote this. And it's so under the comments, people say, oh, no, like the Britney Spears version is better than Bobby Brown's. Or I never heard the Bobby Brown version before Britney Spears. And who is Bobby Brown? It's like, man, listen, I'm not saying this as a guy who hates Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears. Man, my favorite Britney songs, what we got? We got Toxic, Hit Me Baby One More Time, Slave for You, Womanizer, and I'll throw in Oops and or Gimme More. So no, oh no, I know Britney's stuff. I'm not some dude who just love Bobby Brown, don't know anything about Britney Spears. Oh no, I know Britney Spears. Doesn't take away of the greatness of My Prerogative. I don't know, but see, this reminds me of that article recently where the guy from Rolling Stone said that Lady in My Life was the worst song off of Thriller. First of all, there's no bad songs off of Thriller, but it shows people who don't know R&B music. If you're a fan of R&B music, especially if you're around the same time period, you know how impactful My Prerogative was. My Prerogative was a seismic shift in not just R&B music, but pop music. So Bobby Brown, he does the New Edition kicks off Bobby Brown. He does his debut album, which has Girlfriend and Girl Next Door. Album did okay, but not great. He goes off making that second album. New Edition actually was getting more buzz because they had brought in Johnny Gill and he was working with Jim Jam and Terry Lewis. So New Edition was getting a lot of buzz for the upcoming album, but there was no buzz really coming off of Bobby. He was in the studio of Ellie and Babyface, and at that point, Ellie and Babyface was still trying to figure things out as producers. And I didn't know at that time that he had worked with Teddy Riley. So Don't Be Cruel comes out, the song comes out, still a fantastic song. That so good. So good. Don't Be Cruel. You had to figure, like, there can't be a song better than this song off that album because Don't Be Cruel was huge. This dude drops My Prerogative. The only song produced by Teddy Riley off that album. Everything about that song is great. The beginning of the car screeching, the way the beat hits you upside the head, the video alone, Bobby with the headset on dancing around, two beautiful women behind him, one on saxophone, one on keys. Man, I still love that chick on the keys. She was so beautiful. Everything about that song was fantastic. And not just on the R&B side, but on the pop side too. It hit number one on the pop charts on Billboard in January 1989. It hit number one. Song comes out in 1988. Bobby Brown is 19 years old when he made Don't Be Cruel. What were you doing at 19 years old? And again, they had no idea how big that song was going to be. And we're already into New Jack Swing at this point. Keith Sweat had already put out Make It Last Forever. Guy, I think, had already came out with Teddy Riley. But they didn't cross over. Bobby was 19 years old. And the difference between Bobby and everybody else during that time period that was R&B is that they were older. Like, listen, we all love Michael Jackson. We all love Prince. But they were a little bit older. Even Keith Sweat, I think was like 27 when Make It Last Forever came out. Bobby was 19. He was a teenager. Like, he fully embraced like hip hop. It's one thing to say New Jack Swing and hip hop and R&B and all that stuff, but Bobby was of the culture. Like, Bobby was of that age group. And then you start seeing dudes after that mimicking that video. Like Father MC, I'll Do For You and Mary J. Blige. That video looks like Bobby Brown's video. And then when you look at through whole 90s, look at the acts that came through. Like, they were all an influence on Bobby Brown of hip hop and R&B. Jodeci was influenced by him. Kells was influenced by him. Joe was influenced by him. There's so many people, man, who picked up on Bobby's vibe. And Bobby was a dancing fool. Oh, no, man. There's never going to be any planet, anytime, anywhere where I'll ever say that the Britney Spears cover is better than the Bobby Brown cover. Now, again, I love covers. Oh, covers are great. Like Linda Ronstadt's cover of Smokey Robinson. Like, ooh, baby, baby. That was good. Luther Vandross's Our House Is Not a Home. He remade the Carpenters track. That was great. Or is it Superstar? Superstar. That was great. Johnny Cash, he redid Hurt by Nine Inch Nails. That was great. Maxwell remade Women's Work by Kate Bush. That was great. Oh no, if you do a really good cover, I will say like, oh man, my God, that's fantastic. That is wonderful. Not this. Again, most of the people who are saying like the Britney Spears version was better are either Britney stans or Britney fans, or they don't like Bobby Brown for whatever reason. Because a lot of them was bringing up Bobby Brown's past. It's like, no, I am talking about the song. This got nothing to do with Bobby's past. This is about the song. Which song is better? Which song is better? Hey, here's a tip. Why don't you go to someone who knows the Bobby Brown version? You know, go to an R&B lover and ask them, hey, which version is better? The Britney Spears version or the Bobby Brown version? They're going to look at you like this. What you talking about? 99.9% of R&B fans will clearly tell you that the Bobby Brown version of My Prerogative is better. And the crazy thing about the Britney version is, and again, it's not horrible. The crazy thing about that version is Teddy Riley, who produced Bobby's version, produced Britney's version. And that's almost like, I love Teddy Riley. But even I was like, that production's kind of lazy. Even for Teddy Riley, that song was not great. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not great. Nah, man. No. Bobby Brown. Man. Like, he changed the landscape of R&B in the 90s. Like, even now, when you see Chris Brown perform, it's off the Bobby Brown tree. Like, I know people compare Chris to Michael Jackson. And I get that somewhat. But to be honest, Chris is more off the Bobby Brown tree. Bobby Brown at 19 years old, 20 years old, he was untouchable, man. Like, even probably at one point, Bobby Brown probably moved past Michael Jackson at one point, and Prince, as the top dude in R&B. Like, Bobby was that big. And it's hard to tell people this because you see Bobby now and Bobby's all swollen and Bobby had went through all this stuff. He was locked up. He had this stuff with Whitney. Like, all this stuff happened to Bobby Brown after this, like in the 90s after this. And it's hard to look at this guy now. But if you go back to that time period, go watch the video of Ronnie from his concert. The fact that he went on tour, if you guys don't know the story, if you did, I apologize. So Don't Be Cruel comes out. New Edition has the Any Heartbreak tour. And Bobby opened, and it was followed by Albie Sure and New Edition. It only took a few weeks before Al became the opening act, and Bobby was the opener for New Edition. And even then, Bobby was so dominant with his production that even, like, and New Edition was great too, but it was hard. It's almost like the story of Prince and the time going at it on tour. Bobby Brown was that dude. Nah, there'll be no Bobby Brown slander here, especially when it comes to My Prerogative. But I will be fair here. Which version of My Prerogative do you like better? Do you like the original Bobby Brown version that changed the landscape of hip hop and R&B and pop music? Or the Britney Spears version that was just on the Greatest Hits album and which is not better than Toxic or Hit Me Baby One More Time or even Gimme More when Britney was kind of like not right, like was trying to get herself back together. Even on that track, My Prerogative was not better than Gimme More. But what say you? What's better, the Bobby Brown epic version or the Britney Spears version?